Greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Glad that you're here. I'm here from Virginia. I'm on the East Coast. Let me know who's here and where you're chiming in from. Before I get started on our topic, I have a quick announcement. The masterclass on breaking up with sugar was previously scheduled for March 4th, next Monday, but it's been rescheduled to Monday, March 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please mark that on your calendars, make the change, and I apologize for any inconveniences this schedule change may be causing you. But I'd love for you to be there to learn about how to break up with sugar. We have to reduce the amount of sugar consumption that we're having in our diet. So thank you so much for considering. And make sure, like I said, that you mark this on your calendars for March 11th, Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please share with your friends and family because the more the better. So let's get started on our topic. So welcome again to the impact of sugar on our family's health. So today, the discussion really brings things down to home and how sugar affects our family's health overall. Imagine when you're sitting down at your family dinner table and you're sharing your meal and you're having fun and a nice conversation. But one thing you probably hadn't thought about. So think about this. What if I told you something that's hidden within your meal? It could be seem so innocent, but it could be sabotaging your health or maybe potentially wreaking havoc on your health. So I'm talking about, guess what? Sugar. Yes, I'm talking about sugar. So on the surface, everything may appear fine on your dinner table, but you may have like some sugary treats or have some foods that have added sugars that you're not aware of, and that can make a big difference in your health. The impact on your health can be quite profound, especially if you are having excessive sugar added every single day. So, excessive sugar intake has been linked to a higher risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and more. It's not just limited to our physical health, it can also affect our mental and our emotional and our mood health. And so research shows that sugar, excessive sugar consumption has been linked to anxiety, mood disorders, depression. So in essence, too much sugar can actually cause emotional instability. And that is not good, especially in today's time when we're living in times of so much stress. And so it's important to, be mindful of what we are ingesting. So let's dive into some facts and statistics so you can have better informed choices for the well-being of your health, especially when you're planning your meals. So here are some updated statistics on sugar. According to the World Health Organization, an average adult's recommended daily amount of added sugars is 25 grams. However, according to the statistics, American consumers, adults, consume approximately 77 grams of added sugars every day. And just think about our children. What about our children? How much are they having? Children are consuming 81 grams of added sugars on a daily basis. And that's quite a bit. That's a lot higher than the recommended. These numbers are not just statistics. These are real people. They represent real people, real families that are facing real health consequences. And so the impact of excessive sugar goes far beyond just being a sweet tooth, having a sweet tooth, wanting some sweets here and there. So as I mentioned earlier, the link between sugar consumption has an has a correlation between excessive sugar, chronic physical pain, and mental issues, chronic physical issues, and mental issues. So I want to go on with the story. One of my coaches, when I was in Health Coaching Academy, she told a story about her issues with sugar addiction. She was eating too much comfort food, too many sugary foods like cookies and lots of ice cream. She was binging. She was binging on these things because of stress. So it changed her life. She ended up having um, she ended up having lower energy levels. She gained weight. She had mood issues. She did not feel good about herself. And so she decided to reevaluate what was going on in her life. And she made a conscious effort to make changes in what she was eating. So she decided to have a food journal and start writing down what she was eating, what she had been eating, the norm, and how it had been making her feel. And then she decided to make a change. And then with the new foods, she would record those in her journal. And then she would write down how they made her feel. And so she realized that when she eliminated all that excessive sugar, she had more energy, she felt better, she had more self esteem, she was just happier. She was just she lost weight because she had gained weight, and she was just happy about herself. And so whenever you realize that there's something that you can be doing that's better than what you are doing, then that makes a big difference. So one thing that we have to remember is when we are making a change like that, it's not that we are trying to deprive ourselves of things that are good. We are making a conscious decision to reclaim our lives, to consider the well-being of our family's health. And that way we are creating a legacy of well-being for generations. And that is key. We want to have healthy generations of our family and just perpetuate that continuously. So one thing that we might not even think about is, why are we so caught up in having these sugars in our diet? Why does it seem like we're addicted to sugar? We may not be, but it might seem like it. You might be having these cravings and you don't understand why. Well, one of the reasons why is because the food industry, they're really good at intentionally making consumers addicted to sugar. And they do that because of the great marketing, the packaging, the ads, all of it entices you to want that food, whether it is good for you or not. And so you must be a savvy consumer, understanding that some of the packaging that states that it is healthy and good for you is really not. So it's important to really check out those labels on our foods, and then be careful even when you read the labels, because one thing that you may not be aware of, that when you're looking at the ingredients, when there are lots and lots of ingredients, the more ingredients, the worse the food is for you. So just, remember that tip. And just also that the labels on some of our favorite foods, they do hide the extent of sugars that might be actually in that food. And that's where they get you. You know, you caught up in how it tastes, and you end up contributing to a cycle of dependency and poor health because of that. So it's important for you to remember that once you learn what to do, learn what's going on, and how you can prevent these, um, prevent that type of buying tendencies for these foods. It's important to remember that knowledge is power. That's what I'm trying to say. Knowledge is power, and by educating ourselves, we can break free from that those chains of excessive sugar consumption, and our families and our communities can move towards being healthier and happier. You know, our future is depending on us making these conscious decisions to make changes. And in conclusion, um, it's important for us to create change in our homes, and we need to prioritize our family. Let's do that. Let's prioritize our family's health by evaluating sugar's role in our lives. And I want to share this one last thought. Using the sentiments of Dr. Phil, he says, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So what he's saying is, if you don't acknowledge that you have an issue, such as overeating sugar or sugar addiction, or you just have too much of it in your life, then you can't change. So you have to acknowledge it. You have to recognize before you can make a difference. And remember that you are in charge of your life. You only have one life. Just think of your body as a temple, and you want to take care of that. You want to live a long, healthy, prosperous life and have a legacy for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren. And so one way of doing that is to start sharing what you're learning about healthy foods, looking out for hidden sugars, um, determining how many grams of excessive sugars that you're eating that you shouldn't have, and then that can make a huge change in your family. You just never know how just one little change, one just a few words um, about if you ask, like, did you know that there's this amount of hidden sugars and such and such, and I was reading on the labels and I found out this, that, and the other. You never know how far that will carry and make a difference in someone's life. So if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, please put them in the chat, put them in the comment section, and I will get back and answer all of your questions and answer any comments that you have. So before we close, I want to also remind you once again about the masterclass. The masterclass, you're invited to the masterclass. That's on March 11th. That's on a Monday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The cost is free, and I will have a registration link provided for you, available soon. So watch out for it. I'm going to put it on all of the networks. And thank you again for coming, and have a great evening. Thank you. Good night.